It was J.R.R. Tolkien who said, "All who wander are not lost." But when you come here to Cloudland Villas in Rising Fawn, you're not going to be lost, but you will want to wander. Let's wander over and check in with the owner, Al Smilinskas, about this beautiful spot he calls home. Thank you, Al, so much for inviting us up here.
Well, you're very welcome.
So it's Cloudland Villas. I know that we're going to want to take people inside the villas, but the view is too pretty for us to not talk out here. What a spectacular backdrop to the world you have.
Lucky to be here. I mean, yes.
So I love your story. You and I have had a chance to chat a little bit before the cameras began to roll. And just when we think we've heard as many stories as we're going to hear, you throw some more our way. So you just came here to Dade County a couple of years ago.
Correct.
You're a risk taker, a man who likes an adventure, so you came on a lark. Is that right?
That's correct. And then that I was looking for a challenge. I guess I'm at the age where if I don't do that now, it might be too late. So yes, it was challenge and a more gut decision than analytics. And I love that the fact that I made that decision.
So you can hear in your accent, Al moved here from Orlando.
Correct.
You were there for a number of years, but your original home country is Lithuania.
Yeah.
So I asked you if the scenery here reminds you of home a little bit more than Florida.
A little bit, yes. I mean, we don't have mountains, but I grew up in a very much hilly situation. So yeah, that was part of my decision. I guess naturally was driven this way.
So when you come here to Cloudland Villas, I think you set it up beautifully because there really is something for every size party. You have houses, a couple of houses. You also have apartments. All of them have your touch though, and it kind of blends in this minimalist decor to take in the beauty that's around.
Yeah, so I can fit up to 20 people as of today and planning to build quite a bit more. And I have a smaller, it starts with a studio, and the biggest houses fits 6 people, or you can rent the entire property together. So yes, and
oh, so people could come if you wanted to have a family reunion here, for example, and your family was 20 people or less, everyone could have their own area to stay.
Correct.
I have a feeling that they might fight to come to the most recent house that we were in, which is your newest property. That is fantastic. Can we talk about that one a minute?
Yeah, it gets better and better as we go.
So you walk in the door and you wanted there to be this kind of feeling for your guests that the first thing they see is not the kitchen, which implies work. You want them to feel relaxed when they walk in the door.
Yes. Really, well, I wanted them to take away from home routine and to relax. So, well, the way I say that, it's a retreat for your body, mind, and soul. Mm-hmm. It should explain everything, and that's why I put a lot of effort in doing the little details, and I do everything starting with the making floor plans and everything. So it's the way you see those houses, it's not the way it was. It's redone completely, and I think where people going to be setting their luggage and everything from details like that, and then where they can enjoy sitting in the nature. Mm-hmm. Obviously I have trails, I have chairs and swings throughout the entire property and so on. So
yeah, none of it is done to take away from the scenery. The views up here are always going to be the star. So when you first pull up to the properties, they just kind of blend in from the outside. Then you open the door, and I was wowed for the 2 that I walked into. It's very warm. There's a lot of artistic touches to it. I love in this house that we were just talking about, the staircase that goes down to the kitchen area and the stone that is around it. It's beautiful.
Well, thank you. The biggest thing, I guess that's what it is. I get absolutely vast majority of the people gives me very good reviews, mm-hmm. Very detailed reviews. So I guess it feeds my ego and so it motivates me to go further. But I have experience in doing that, so I guess that's another thing why I'm here, and I think I can do it, and it could make living. But it's not living is just part of money is a part of what I need, but I enjoy doing that. That's biggest thing.
I'm getting a bit of nostalgia as I talked to you this morning. I lived in Vermont for a while. I have a brother who still lives up there. The air up here smells like my days in Vermont. There's a sweetness to it,
Yeah.
almost. Do you know what I'm talking
Yes,
about?
absolutely, yes, yeah, and it's depending on a day. Well, we just had a hot year. It was different, but it is still, well, I'm Floridian more than anything, so it's still better than Florida. It's different, you know, and any other, in the winter, in the fall, in the spring, it's so different and interesting and rich, and I love it.
So we are essentially close to the bluff, if not on the bluff, I think, where we are. So you mentioned the 14 acres that you have and the trails that can take people around. I'm sure each one holds its own charm and beauty. Do you kind of help people guide themselves through which trails are the easiest to take?
Yes, I do, and I started. In the beginning, people they couldn't find a trail. They would get lost. Even it's 14 acres. It's not that big, but now I have a GPS. I created a trail on the All Trail website. I have a GPS guided tour, so you can click on the link, and it takes you where to go. And I have a pictures and everything. So now I'm somewhat organized. I do have a website. I provide all that information. And I still improving it. I still working on it. So
how accessible are you to the guests when they come? And I ask because when you travel the right way, you don't just take in the sights, you get to know the people of the place that you're visiting. So do your guests get to have conversations with you? Do you become friends with some of them?
yes, that's a very exciting and important part to me, and I was sort of planning that. So not everybody seeks. Some people just tries to, I guess, run away from the city, which is I learned that, and I'm staying as far away as I can, and I'm trying to be there anytime they text me. Like, well, I live on the property and I don't travel right now too much, so I'm right there or I have somebody on the property to help them. But I do communicate with people. The ones communicate. I do communicate. I meet all kind of interesting people, and I've made already quite a few friends from my customers.
So you could be next on the list if you act quickly. They book you through Airbnb, not your website. Is that correct?
Airbnb or VRBO.
Okay, either
two
one.
platforms.
But you can look them up online as well. You can also always reach out to the Alliance for Day. They've been so gracious to get us up to these spectacular places. So they too can help you if you can't find it online. But you will book your stay, whether it's 2 or 3 nights or a full week. Carve out time to get to know Al. You can speak to him in English, but he does speak 4 languages. He's not so sure about the French, but we have faith in him. And thank you for the invitation.
One day.
Say come soon in Lithuanian.
Atvykite kuo greičiau.